Hello, everyone. Good morning. Welcome, everyone, first of all. I am very excited to be moderating the pitch session for today for the winners. And I have the pleasure of introducing the winners of the WEA Digital Innovation Challenge. The challenge received more than 250 submissions from 54 countries. And the 10 winners will earn an access to a bootcamp, capacity building training, mentorship, be a part of a network of change makers, and be published as a best practice in an official report to grow their initiatives. Today, we'll get to know the winners as they pitch to the grand jury, and they will receive special recognition and awards. Please give a round of applause to the following 10 projects that I'll mention. Wonder Women Limited, Tiny Todos, Kenya. Adobokashi Systems, Reacción Latam, Ono, WEA for Women Gig Workers, OMZN Apparel Limited, Health Innovation Exchange, Hair Store Asia, and WeTech Batangas. Please give them a good round of applause. I will now welcome the jury to join us at the front. I'll mention them one by one with a very short bio for each of them. And I know it's very accomplished people. It's going to be a very succinct presentation for them. First of all, we have Dan Seymour, Strategic Partner Director from UN Women. He previously served as UN Women's Director and Humanitarian Action and Crisis Response Office and Deputy Chief of Staff Strategic Planning Advisor to the Executive Director. Please welcome. We have now Deborah Gibbons, COO and CFO, Mary Kay Global. As Chief Operating Officer, Deborah Gibbons has broad responsibility for Mary Kay's product strategy, research and development, supply chain, financial operations, and information technology. Thank you very much, Deborah. Now we have Harry O'Melia, CEO and President of 1919 Investor Council. Harry entered the financial services industry in 1985 and has held senior positions at JP Morgan, US Trust Company, and Tidman Trust Company. Thank you very much, Harry. Now we have Julia Pimsler, founder of Million Dollar Women. Julia Pimsler is a scaling coach, mindset expert, speaker, and best-selling author. She is founder of Million Dollar Women Network, an educational platform and powerful network for women entrepreneurs in the US and Canada. Thank you very much for joining us, Julia. Now we have Celine Oz, SME Banking, Entrepreneurship Banking, Senior Manager, Guarantee BBVA. She has also been leading the development and implementation of the Women's Entrepreneurship Program at Guarantee Bank, Turkey's first private bank that has developed a specific program for women entrepreneurs as a worldwide best practice. Thank you, Celine, as well, for being here with us today. Now, I have the pleasure of introducing Tess Mateo, Sustainability ESG Impact Investor, US W20 Delegate to G20. Tess Mateo is Senior Advisor to AQAL Capital and the United Nations on Gender and Climate, and Managing Director of CX Catalyst, which develops public-private partnerships in clean energy, water, sustainable food, and health. Thank you very much for being with us, Tess. And finally, we have Ursula Winhoven, representative to the United Nations in New York for ITU. Ursula Winhoven is a lawyer with 24 years of experience, the last 16 of which have been with the United Nations. She is a representative to the United Nations in New York for the International Telecommunication Union, ITU, and has its UN Affairs Division and New York Liaison Office. Thank you very much as well, Ursula, for being with us today. Now, each of the winners will present for 2 minutes. So the pitch is going to last for 2 minutes, and I have a clock here. So I'm going to keep track of the time. And Victoria is going to help me to keep track of the 3-minute Q&A session that is going to happen from the jury. In addition to being published as a best practice in an official report, as I have mentioned before, and other perks that the winners are receiving, They are receiving special recognition and awards. So the first team pitching is, and I'm going to name the company, the project, the country, and the person delivering the pitch. Number one, we have Wonder Women. It's a women's P2P learning platform. That's the project from Kazakhstan, and we have the pleasure of welcoming Ardak Kalieva.
Wonder Woman, did you think of changing your career or opening your own business or starting your career after maternity leave? Would you want to talk to someone who already did that? Probably you would. Each of us would. 75% want to have a mentor, and 86% of mentors want to have mentees. And here we are, developing global community to help women grow professionally through mentorship and P2P learning using AI Match in a supportive and secure environment. Our uniqueness is in inclusiveness. We are online but love offline meetings, therefore we're hybrid, and our groundbreaking content is created by our community members. We have a solution that works. 41% of mentees raise their personal income by 180% on average. 100% achieve their requested goal, and 59% of mentees even increase the income of the employer. And we have tons of reviews that our solution works. Here's our traction. We are already running our 7th batch of the mentorship program and in 15 offline events. Our business model currently on a scaling stage as we are launching communities in Telegram. We are earning from subscriptions, paid public talks, and paid collaborations with brands. What's next? Expansion to different languages and continents. And for this, we need $500,000 for mobile app development. Our team is Rada for strategy and leadership, Ardak for planning and structuring, and Anna for quality and warmth. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ardak.
Hi, thank you for that. Just a quick question. Obviously, you've had good success from your initial cohort. I'm wondering whether you ever tracked the number of referrals from people who've been through the program, and are they referring friends or other women that know what they do? Do you have any statistics on that?
Yes, of course. We have more than 2,000 applications and 120 mentees. And actually, we are growing without any ads, only by word of mouth reference. Yes.
Thanks so much. You mentioned that you need $500,000. I wondered if you could just say a little bit about how that would be spent.
Of course. This will be mainly mobile app development, as well as marketing costs, and we want to patent our name.
Yes, I love that you're focusing on mentorship. I think that's so needed right now. I'd love to understand whether it's just for entrepreneurs, just for corporate, a bit of both. You mentioned increasing the revenues of the employer, so I didn't know if this was also for entrepreneurs. And also, can you help us understand the use of AI? I was very intrigued by that.
Yeah, as I started with the last question, as this is mentor-mentor relationships and P2P learning, currently we're doing this manually, but we know that with the growing number of applicants, we have to match them somehow, and that's how we are planning to apply AI. Then concerning your first about what did you ask?
Just what the focus is, employees or entrepreneurs, or a bit of both?
It's both. It's not only professional, because when women came to our community, they are firstly about learning and growing professionally, but later on they're staying with us for communication, for quality audience, for maybe even friends finding in our community. So it's actually more than mentor-mentor relationships that stays within the community.
Well, I'm sorry, we didn't hear that.
They are meeting in other cities without knowing each other, but knowing that they are in our community. They spend a new year together, chatting and walking.
And we have a question from the audience about the diversity of your members and your mentors.
Currently, as our mentors basically mostly located in the Central Asia, But our mentees, we have application from already 27 countries all over the world, and we are very diverse as it could be.
Thank you. Any last question?
Is there a process for qualifying mentors?
Yeah, sure. We are actually, it is also word of mouth references, because our mentors and mentees saying that some women are matching with us with their values of self-discipline, self-development, and self-learning. So we are interviewing them, and if they are matched by values, we are together. They are in the board.
Thank you very much to Wonder Women Limited for their presentation. Thank you very much for the jury for their questions. And now I have the pleasure of introducing Tiny Totos Kenya with the same project, Tiny Totos Kenya, from Kenya. Emma Kadi, please start your pitch.
Greetings from Nairobi. My name is Emma Kadi, and I'm the CEO of Tiny Totos, a social enterprise tackling one of the biggest obstacles standing in the way of women becoming entrepreneurs: poor childcare. Worldwide, studies show that women's earning parity with men falls off a cliff when they become mothers, never to recover. The gender earning gap is really a childcare penalty. Nowhere is the childcare crisis more acute than in Africa. Africa will have 1 billion children by 2055. Outside of family networks, poor quality childcare is the norm. Poor childcare does not just prevent African women from becoming entrepreneurs, it can keep them trapped in poverty for life. Tiny Totos is a Kenyan social enterprise helping low-income babysitters become profitable childcare entrepreneurs with technology, capital, training, and network. When community daycares thrive, working mothers can too. Our childcare entrepreneur Accelerator blends low and high-tech tools and in-person and virtual support such as digital learning to transform standards of care. A key part of our digital innovation in informal care is a phone app we built for childcare entrepreneurs to help them track business metrics like income, credit, and attendance in real time. The app also helps daycare entrepreneurs become part of a growing digital care network. Our partners double revenues with our mentorship. They deliver vastly improved outcomes to vulnerable children. Their profitable quality care businesses have allowed over 20,000 women to go to work with peace of mind, and we've just gotten started. Our tech-enabled franchise model is expanding regionally into Africa's enormous untapped childcare market. We will support 1 million working mothers to become entrepreneurs by 2030. Our modeling shows independence from grant is possible at scale from network sales, advisory services, marketing contracts, and subscription revenue. To get there, we need to close a 1.5 million gap on a 3 million raise. Our innovations in informal childcare have already attracted global recognition and support. We have a strong team experienced in scaling social enterprises, technology, and health businesses, both locally and internationally. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for your presentation, Emma. Now I open the floor for the jury to ask any questions for 3 minutes, and I apologize because of the glitch on your screen.
No
We're trying
worries.
to get that sorted out.
Just a quick question from a franchise perspective. What do franchisees get, and what's a typical fee for acquiring a franchise through your organization?
So they get access to training, a boot camp training to onboard them, and then periodic training on a monthly basis in the early stages, and then quarterly after that. We do quality assessments periodically of all daycares, so we will also give them extra mentorship if they're failing on either childcare, business, data, technology, or mentorship. It costs them $2.50 to be part of the network per month. They also get access to finance after 3 months of partnership, so they can get small loans for phones, for business improvement, and so forth. The real condition is that they share all the analytics, all the data of their business, that we have all their client data. So to be honest, our business model, as you heard, is not about subscription fee. It's about showing they have skin in the game.
The issue of not just affordable but safe childcare, and it sounds like you have a way of screening for that. I'd just be interested in sort of what your methodology is for making sure that these that the institutions are safe and doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, we've worked closely. We have experts on board. We've worked closely with the Center for Public Health from Harvard. We've developed a very hybrid and clear standard assessment framework, and we have a cadre of community health volunteers that will go and do periodic, monthly in the beginning, assessments of the daycares with a traffic light system, red, orange, and green. Any childcare issues is basically a red, so we have to go back in 48 hours and check on them. But over time, as they improve, there's a lot of peer-to-peer learning that goes on. We work very closely also with the local health government authorities because it's really hard to track children preschool in these dense urban areas, and we have more data and frequency of insights on them than they do, to be honest. So where there are problems, we will refer them directly to the health authorities. So we're playing, I think, a fairly useful coordinating role with the public health teams as well.
So you become sort of a seal of approval almost too. If someone's in your system, that actually elevates the group to being safe and healthy and being checked. That's wonderful. Thanks.
Absolutely. Yeah, sorry.
I was going to say, I love how niche down this is, that you're tackling, a problem that's going to help so many entrepreneurs and also create entrepreneurs. I'm curious, have you partnered with any existing organizations that do this kind of work in the US? I'm thinking of care.com or some organization set up that already does this to learn from best practices.
Well, in Rwanda, we've partnered with UNICEF. They actually came to us because of our market-based model. We don't own any daycares. We don't subsidize their operating costs whatsoever. So they came to us to help develop a private sector strategy for helping tea companies in the agribusiness sector set up childcare centers. And there's a lot of parallels in terms of learning, care, and operations that we can deploy from our experiences in Nairobi into Rwanda. We're also working with Mercy Corps. We just did a market analysis in Addis, and they're looking to fund us to roll out our social franchise model in Addis. We do learn a lot, like I said, from the Center for Public Health at Harvard. We're also got an advisor from the University of Oxford who has a huge amount of global health experience, particularly in Indonesia, Dr. Anurag Shankar. So we take a lot of learnings, but in a sense, I think we're quite unique in having this hybrid business, childcare, health, digital kind of approach. So the sharing is going both ways at the moment.
We're getting to the end of the 3 minutes Q&A time. I don't know if the members of the jury might have a final question that we can answer very briefly.
Yes, I'd be really interested in learning about the demographics of your current franchise owners. What are their backgrounds?
They usually become childcare providers by default. They're babysitters, essentially women who find it the bottom of the employment pile. Perhaps they've become a babysitter because they're a mother and a woman with a chance to hustle on the street or maybe find some paid work has left her child with her, and she's developed a reputation as someone who can look after children, though she doesn't have business and childcare skills. But ultimately, those women that we partner with are very underemployable. They don't have strong skill sets, and they're doing childcare kind of vocation as default, and we help them learn the tools of their trade to be able to expand and make a decent livelihood from their work, and also then help 40 or 50 women who attend their daycares go to work as well.
Well, thank you very much, Emma, for your response. We don't have any additional time for any more Q&As, but please give Emma another round of applause, and we will be very happy to introduce Adobo Kashi Systems with the project Picatalk from the Philippines. I have the pleasure of introducing Uma Luis Roa.
So we are Picatalk, digitally transforming language development. Our startup was inspired by my sister Leia, who has autism. And growing up with her, communicating with her has always been difficult. She would throw temper tantrums because she wasn't understood. And it's not just my sister. About 1 in 160 children are diagnosed with autism, wherein 40% do not speak, while 25 to 30% can only utter a few words. And these kids undergo speech therapy. For alternate methods, speech therapists often use communication boards, which are labor-intensive to make, an inefficient tool, and can be difficult to bring around anywhere as it gets bigger and heavier. Which is why we developed PikaTalk, an educational mobile application that assists children in speech and language development. We've made it fully digital, customizable, user-friendly, and available in multiple languages. For credibility and easy training, we are partnering with speech therapy centers so they can introduce PikaTalk to the right clients, which is then offered in subscription plans for as low as $5 a month. So far, we have over 300 active users, introduced PikaTalk to more than 20 therapy centers, and have raised almost $15,000 in equity-free grants. We are now raising $200,000 to onboard around 1,200 users in the next 18 months through sales cycle optimization, continued product development, and generate a revenue of $23,000 by the end of the year. Now, compared to other tech companies, PikaTalk will take time to reach the 1 million ARR. But since this app will be part of the daily life of its users, there is minimal need to subsidize for every use, which means PikaTalk will retain more than 90% of the revenue it generates, making it, which is more than enough to sustain the business moving forward. At PikaTalk, we prioritize our users' welfare by empowering them to speak their minds, maximize their potential, and actively participate in opportunities that come their way. I'm Yuma Roa, and along with my team of developers and a speech therapist, we built PikaTalk to improve the lives of those who need it the most, like my sister Leia and other nonverbal children with special needs. And with PikaTalk, they can now speak with pics. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation, Uma. Now I open the floor for 3 minutes for any questions from the jury. Thank you so much.
Hi. As far as I understand, you have a partnership with talking therapy centers to acquire new users or directly contact to the families of the children. Which way do you...
So it goes both ways. So parents do have the option to download the app from Google Play, where it is now available. That is based on their assessment of the child, if the child is able to use mobile devices or high-tech AACs such as PikaTalk. The reason why we partner with therapy centers is that we consider the training part, wherein the therapists would have to train the kids on how to use PikaTalk for just communication instead of using it as a game and so on. The therapists are the ones who are very well equipped on how to train these kids.
Is there any subsidization or subsidy for the families that may not be able to afford the devices, or is this really something you have to have access or ability to afford a device?
So one of our plans is to partner with local government units, wherein they could cover the cost of the subscription for PikaTalk, so that families who can't afford the subscription could have the chance to use it and have access to, so that their kids can have access to communication through high-tech means.
And have you been able to measure the impact in any way on the children who are using it? Love to hear about that.
Yeah, currently we aren't able to really measure the impact yet. Our development team is still working on acquiring that kind of data. But what we are planning on basing the impact on is the amount of vocabulary or the amount of words that these users are using. Since users can customize their vocabulary, they can add new words, new categories, and that way we can measure like how much their language is developing over a period of time.
Okay, well, thank you very much. No further questions. So thanks again to
much.
Uma for your presentation. Now I'm very happy to introduce the next company to present, Reacción Latam, the project BIC System, Smart Scale for Circular Economy, from Uruguay, Mariana Robano. Mariana, can you hear us?
Thank you so much. Hi, I'm Mariana, one of the 3 founders, female founders from Reacción Latam. As a civil and environmental engineer, I'm passionate about sustainable development. So we want to help companies to adapt circular economy strategies. Our purpose is to live in a world without wastage, with zero waste. Can you imagine that? We want to show that wastes are resources. Resources are valuable. We are fronting a lack of resources in the near future. So when businesses track waste, they can create value change with circular economy strategies. That's when our smart solution appears. Our smart scales measure wastes in real time, showing when, why, how the wastes are generated. And with this data, we can make better decisions. So how it works? It's a scale connected with a device, which is connected to a platform, an open source platform, where the customers can show each dashboard customized. We have already been working in this in two sectors, in building sector and fast food restaurants. Before our solution, 100% wastes were going to landfill. Nowadays, we can improve that and we can show less than 40% is going to landfill. Our team is really strong. We are proud of our team with engineering, innovation, creative persons. We can do and we can scale this solution over the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mariana, for your pitch. Now I open the floor for 3 minutes for any questions from the jury. Please.
Thank you. I'm just curious, who are you targeting as you talk to businesses? It's business, small business owners. Like, who are your customers that you're focused on?
Yes, it depends. Now we are working in Uruguay with business sectors like building companies, and also we are working with McDonald's, a big stakeholder, and we adapt our solution depending on the client. We want to scale to another sector because we think our solution is really strong to measure not only the waste are being wasting, also the raw materials are wasting. When we generate waste, we have to take in mind that all we have in it are resources. So we want to show the composition of the wastes to each company, to each client, to make better decision, because with this solution they can go more strong with recyclable plants, or we can valorate or treatment the organic waste to with composted treatment. So it depends. We think this abroad is the possibilities of the customer are really different, and we can adapt the solution to each type of size.
Thank you for your excellent focus on the biggest carbon emissions on the building sector. So that I love that. I saw that you had 60% of the waste goes into aggregates. Are you coming up with that recommendation, or is that your in addition to just providing the device and the platform, are you directing where the waste goes?
Yes, that's why this is our differential, because we have a lot of years of experience in solid waste management sector. So we know where the waste had to be go. So the debris are going in an alliance with a specific treatment. The debris are recycled into new aggregates, and we teach to the companies how to buy this aggregate and use in the buildings. So we are in the way we are teaching how to think in circular economy strategies, applying that. So we have a lot of alliance with specific treatment plants to each type of wastes.
Thank you. So I have a question for you, but thank you for the presentation, which is great. It's an enormously important area of work, obviously. I'm trying to understand how this becomes sustainable financially. And it relates, I guess, to also what sort of pickup and interest you're getting from other companies. The companies you've given as examples are big companies. I'm assuming you mean McDonald's Uruguay, not McDonald's Global, but maybe you mean Global, which I would love to hear. But how much have they paid you for this? I mean, where is the money coming from that will allow you to maintain things, to build, grow to scale? How does that work?
Sorry to interrupt, but we just have the final second, so if we can give a brief response to this question, we'll be very grateful. Thank you, Mariana.
With a first payment, we study the type of company, and then with a subscription, maybe a payment monthly, we show and we do the data available for the companies and our customers. So the payment is monthly subscription. It depends on the size of the client, which is the amount. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you, Mariana. We can give Mariana another round of applause for her presentation, while I also introduce the following company, ONOW, with their project Enable Platform from Myanmar. I have the pleasure of welcoming Matt Wallace.
So, hello everyone. We are ONOW. We help business support organizations serve more female entrepreneurs through our platform, which we call Enable. This is Malele. She was struggling to grow her market for her textile business. She was struggling to manage her money, and then a crisis threatened her business, and she needed someone to talk to. But as you know, women are massively underserved by the business ecosystem. There are more than 7,000 business support organizations in the world, but only 0.1% of all businesses are being served, and only 1 in 3 of these are women. So ONOW created a platform for business support organizations to tailor, optimize, and scale to better serve female entrepreneurs. Our system actually helped us at ONOW scale from directly coaching 300 businesses to more than 9,000 in 2 years. Our solution could serve 70 million business owners and drastically increase the share of women who are supported by the industry. The primary income is from a monthly recurring subscription with the business support organization. This is a software as a service product. We have already secured our first organizational customer at high monthly recurring revenue. This demonstrates demand for the product, and we're currently targeting pre-sales to 10 more organizations through our strong reputation in 2 excellent global networks. This will let us grow from serving in these 3 countries, Thailand, Myanmar, and the United States, to expanding globally through Enable over the next 3 years. Our founding team has diverse talents, and each of us has more than a decade of experience in the industry. We also have a whole team behind us that is young, that has the tenacity to build amazing digital products for Malele. So our ask is $650,000 to turn this internal infrastructure into something that the broader ecosystem can use. That will help us expand to serve 125,000 female business owners over the next 5 years. Today, Malele's business is growing. She's telling her friends about Enable. She's experiencing increased agency and increased resilience. So let's enable the ecosystem to support more female entrepreneurs just like her. Thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you, Matt, for your presentation. Now I open the floor for 3 minutes for any questions from the jury. Please go ahead.
Yes, hi Matt. How are you adapting this for each country, since the needs of a business owner in the US would be so very different from the needs of the example you gave?
Yeah, absolutely. So first off, the important thing is that we're leaning into organizations that are already active in the space. The solution to this problem of serving business owners exists in those 7,000 existing organizations. So we let them draw from our own content library, but also let them build their own content to go into the system. So it's localized already. Just to give you a sense, in Myanmar, we serve 9 different languages. Thailand is 3 languages. We support major languages already, like English and Arabic. So the platform is very flexible for that problem.
And hi, Matt. As far as I understand, you reach new women entrepreneurs through the organizations like Chamber of Commerce and some NGOs. Am I right?
That's correct. It's NGOs. It would also be financial institutions, non-bank financial institutions, and then oftentimes incubators and accelerators that sometimes are for profit, sometimes not for profit.
And last, what's your income model?
Yeah, so we are really fortunate to have actually 4 different revenue streams, but this is a subscription that lets them pay for the amount of services that they're going to use in the software package. There are transaction fees for setup, but then also an add-on model that allows them to add additional features for the business owner. And then 4th, there are referral services when we connect business owners to supportive partners like insurance providers, accounting services, and any other kind of provider that might be able to support the business actually using the platform.
So how many do you have online right now? I see you have 1 organization, but how many women entrepreneurs that actually access the system right now?
Yeah, so our digital tools have been used by more than 350,000 people. And because we as an organization are built especially for women, we always ensure that at least 50% of those on the platform are female business owners. So altogether right now we have about 45,000 businesses that are female owned that have used the platform. As you lean into the partners that you're working with, you have to trust that they are also supporting women. So that means we really have to work hard to choose the right partners.
Thank you, Matt. Another great presentation. Thank you. Can you tell us, do you have any metrics or data on impact of the platform so far on individuals in terms of either sort of client satisfaction or ideally anything showing increase in revenue or any other sorts of outcomes? Because you talked about Marele feeling better, which is great, but do you have anything that's a kind of quantitative that we can grip?
Absolutely. Most services in this space think about things like the number of people who finish a program. But when we went digital, we thought it was really important that we understand the viabilities of the businesses and also the profitability of the businesses. So the platform lets us measure regularly revenues, expenses, and profitability. And what we've actually found on average is a 25% increase in profitability. And if you're a business owner who is a not profitable business, you have a 55% chance of becoming profitable, of becoming viable. So we continue to measure those kinds of outcomes as well as the number of people finishing each of the programs.
We just have a few more seconds for a final question. If any members of the jury have any pending questions, or we can wrap up this Q&A format. No further questions. So thank you very much, Matt, for your presentation. Please give Matt another round of applause while we welcome WEA Women Gig Workers with the project WEA mobile app from Kenya. Let's welcome Elizabeth Mwangi, please.
Okay, thank you. So, Jambo everyone, my name is Elizabeth Mwangi, the founder and director of WEA for Women. So, imagine every morning, leaving your children every day to go for work, hoping that you'll come back with something to put on the table, only to return with nothing to give them. This is a sad reality for over 800,000 women from the slums of Nairobi. These women lack formal education and rely on casual cleaning as their only source of income to provide for their children. However, because they do not know where their services are needed, these women can be seen seated outside suburban estates, spending up to 7 hours each day in the hot African sun, waiting to be picked for a cleaning job. WEA is a mobile application that connects these women with their clients at the comfort of their homes. It is estimated that over 200,000 households in Nairobi require their services but shy away due to lack of trust. WEA identifies, vets, and trains these women, thereby giving them credibility in the eyes of their clients. Our business model is commission-based, whereby we receive a commission of 20% for every cleaning order. The table on your left represents our average monthly revenue streams, expenses, and net income. Thus far, we have empowered over 300 casual cleaners from the slums of Nairobi. Working with us, these women have risen their income from less than $2 per day to an average of $8 per day, and they are now better able to provide for their children. For this, I was named among Kenya's top 40 under 40 women of 2023. These are the brains behind WEA, And what unites us is our passion and drive to end cycles of poverty in the slums through women empowerment. Thank you for this opportunity. I welcome any questions or comments. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth, for your presentation. Now I open the floor for 3 minutes for any questions from the jury.
Just tell me a little bit about sort of how women find you. How are you attracting your workforce?
Oh, okay, so in terms of the cleaners, these cleaners they already have the skill sets, and you can easily find them on different residential estates. I mean, they come as early as 8 a.m. and leave as late as 6 p.m. So when you are recruiting, we normally go and find these women because they already have the skill set. And now from there, we invite them for the mass cleaner registration, where we vet them and then train them before we onboard them onto our platform. So that's how we get our cleaners. In terms of our clients, we mostly use social media, word of mouth, yes, and right now we are mostly in Nairobi.
I love what you've done so far and solving a problem and connecting, workers, and people are trying to find them. Have you thought about expanding into other sectors once you have all of these workers? Tell us a little bit about where this could go.
Yes, so that's a very good question. So actually, if you Google Kenya, you find that unemployment is the biggest problem we have. And even the corporates are firing instead of hiring. So the future of Kenya, as I said, in most of the talks I've gone to, is the gig economy. And WEA, our main aim is to empower these people, starting in with one group at a time. So we've started with these women who are very vulnerable, who have been forgotten. But the idea is after we have empowered these people, we go to another group of plumbers, we go to electrician, and now we become a talent powerhouse where we are empowering every group that has been forgotten, one group at a time. Yes, thank you.
I have another question for you in terms of partnership. Who are there organizations you're partnering with in terms of expanding outreach, knowledge of the platform, getting people to attract to it, or taking it to other places within Kenya?
Okay, so when we started, one of the problems I had was getting people who are like-minded, and it's been a process. So one of the first founders who came in and was able to give us some funding to enable us develop the platform was African Impact. This is an angel investor who invests in ideas from African people like myself. And now moving forward, we've gotten partnership with Kenya, which is Digital Opportunity Trust Kenya, whereby we are working. This one trains mostly gig workers, and for these women, training is very, very important. So we have partnered with them, and they help us with the training. And this is now how we're able to ensure professionalism when it comes to these women and handling their clients. So that's the people we have so far, but we have approached other organizations like Safaricom, which is the biggest telecommunication company. And for them, we are presenting to them a proposal whereby they can be able to give more women, so that we want to impact more women, but not all these women have smartphones. So we are presenting to them the evidence that we have to show that they can give these women smartphones and they can pay in small installments as they work. So we are looking to work with an organization, but so far we only have those two organizations that we have formalized a partnership with.
Thank you.
We have a few seconds for an additional question from the jury, so please.
Thank you. Elizabeth, this is great. I like this very much. But can you tell us, obviously, with a number of these sort of gig economy facilitating apps, one of the issues that they tried to mediate are some protection issues. So does anything happen if one of the cleaners using your app is called in by a client and has a bad experience? They're treated, improperly or inappropriately in some way. Is that something you're able to address, or is that just kind of beyond the functionality?
Yes, so one of the things I would like to highlight about these women, you see how they sit like this. Some clients take advantage because they think they are desperate. So sometimes they might tell you, I'm going to pay you $10, and they don't pay you. Or sometimes some of them, before they joined the platform, had undergone sexual harassment. So one of the features we have included on the Cleaners app is what we call a panic button, whereby if this cleaner doesn't feel safe, they can press this panic button. And also we have supervisors on the ground who move around. So in case of any issue, they're able to to resolve. We also have an active comment section where they can comment and they can tell us in case of any issues that they have. And we follow up on any issue that these women encounter while working. Yes.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth, for your responses. Now we welcome OMZ10 Apparel Limited. OMZ10, that's the name of the project, from Nigeria. We welcome Kioma Nana. Can you hear us, Kioma?
Good day, everyone. Welcome to my pitch. I'll start with this short story. A young single mother in Lagos was employed by a mass production clothing factory where tailors were forced to sleep on concrete and benches because they were not paid enough to transport themselves home every day. Frustrated by the indignities and inconveniences that she faced, this young woman scraped together her resources and opened a small workshop of her own. This is the story of Amaka, our first partner tailor and the inspiration for the Amazing business model. Amazing is a clothing company that manufactures, brands, and retails in-demand women's clothing using a digital production management system. I'm sorry, I don't know why my slide, okay. Using a digital production management system that functions as an that connects tailors like Amaka who work with their own equipment in the comfort and safety of their own spaces. By the people, for the people, our smart product lifestyle management, actuated by the Amazing mobile application, will oversee all our processes from design to sale. In 5 years, we will engage over 150,000 independent tailors who work with their own equipment, in the comfort and safety of their own spaces. And will be competing in a 900 billion global market and contributing to Africa's sustainable development goals. In November 2022, with the support of our partner tailors, Amaka, Miriam, and Fatima, we recorded a 20% net profit on sales made through our Instagram store and e-commerce websites. We have made similar progress since then and have received glowing reviews from the women who shop with us. At the end of the day, we are doing this for the housewives, the stay-at-home moms, the disabled persons, and others like Amaka who will access dignified, well-paid work through our distributed remote model. Now, the big question is, will you help us put exploitative mass production factories out of business? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kioma, for your presentation. Any questions from the jury? We have 3 minutes.
Sure.
Thank you.
Maybe talk a little bit about how you source I understand the tailors, but who are the people who are selling out to you? How do you sort of work that network?
Sorry, could you repeat the question? I didn't hear that.
I didn't hear. Sorry. I was asking, I understand how the tailors, but my question had to do with how do you source the ultimate companies that sell your goods and sort of what kinds of cooperatives are you involved with or businesses? How do you sort of now move the money, move the goods into the economy?
Okay, so we are a clothing brand, meaning that we market this product through our own shopping front. And instead of outsourcing to mass production clothing factories like other clothing brands do, we have introduced this, I would say, disruptive production management system where we connect directly to the tailors or to the sewing shops instead of large energy consuming factories. So yes, we are the shopping front as well as the manufacturers.
Help us understand what is the current system that you're replacing. What is this coming instead of? Just to educate us a bit. It sounds amazing. Love what you're doing.
Thank you. The current system, which is popularized by the fast fashion industry, is the mass production factory system, where clothing brands outsource their production to large factories who hire these tailors and pay them, I would say, peanuts to work with the company's equipment, with the company's tools, and through the company's systems. So that we're replacing that system with a more individualized, people-centric model where we have a direct connection with the individual tailors who have a sense of autonomy and who have control over the amount of time that they work and the amount of money that they earn.
And how will you make that competitive price-wise, for the people who would be using your system instead of the current, more exploitative one?
Oh, price-wise, because we are asset light, and um, in sub-Saharan Africa, the cost of living, or the standard of living, or the cost of living actually is slightly lower than in the West and in other parts of the world. So these people, if they can earn, let me say, if they can earn within $1,000 in a month, or less than $1,000 in a month, right, they would be able to live way above the standard of the average person in this region. So comparatively, the companies will not have to pay so much compared to what they would pay to a larger factory or a larger company.
Thank you very much. The time is up for this Q&A session. Thank you very much, Kioma, for your responses. Now, please give Kioma another round of applause while we welcome Health Innovation Exchange, the project Women in Innovation NFT from Switzerland. Let's welcome Paula Navajas.
So my name is Paula Navajas. I'm CEO of Health Innovation Exchange, project manager of the WIND Fund, which is the Women in Innovation Fund. We support women entrepreneurs, women innovators. So the problem is that half the world has no access to basic healthcare, and we think that's completely unacceptable. Women know what they're doing in health. Women create more jobs. Women deliver better results. Yet only 2% of the VC funding goes to these amazing women entrepreneurs and innovators. So we are a platform that quite unique, who harnesses the power of Web3 digital talkers and distributed expertise all over the world to help these women scale up and maximize impact. What does it mean? We actually not only give them, invest in them, but they need to grow. So we create a whole ecosystem around them to grow with mentors, innovators, policymakers. So we really help them grow. And the Web3. So why the Web3? Because not only we managed to get some funding from NFT sales, we have an amazing digital collection from artists from Rwanda, but also we tap into this incredible community that believe in global goods and believe in the power of innovation. So we are now in Africa. We have launched Africa. We're going to launch Asia and LATAM and other regions across the world in the near future. What about traction? Traction, we have more than 300 applications in Africa. We have shortlisted 50, and now we have 15 finalists. We're going to fund these 15 finalists, but we're going to provide support to all the 50 at different levels, different type of support. So these are our partners right now. We are Health Innovation partner with Reckitt, Coffee and Foundation, EcoBank, and Token Proof. And to close, I will say that COVID has shown us how weak, how sensible, and how our health system, right? So we need to really to build resilient health systems, and that's only can be done through investing in entrepreneurs, through this broad community that is there with this amazing expertise. So really, together we can transform healthcare, and really we can empower these amazing women on the front lines. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your pitch, Paula. Now I open the floor for any questions from the jury. 3 minutes. Thank you.
Yes, Paula, I'm just trying to understand the model a little better. So people buy the NFTs, that generates capital, you reinvest that into women's healthcare initiatives. Can you help us understand how you'll pick those initiatives and what kind of capital will get deployed?
Yes. So actually we have capital from NFT sales, but we also have capital from grants, CSR funds, and donors, right? So NFT sales is only one part of the capital. So we invest this capital, create this fund, and we invest in these women entrepreneurs. How it works? So we have this call for proposals. We do a due diligence process, we're now right now in the middle of the review. Now we have like 16 finalists. Like I said, we have to go through a due diligence still, and we're going to invest in them. I want to go provide some support, like acceleration support, mentoring, etc., according to their needs, because they're all in different stages, so they have different needs actually.
you maybe talk a little bit about the organization and sort of how deep it is? You're the face of the organization, I guess, and so talk a little bit about the sort of the depth of the consulting and sort of how you are staffed to do this so globally. You've got a very ambitious plan.
Yeah, I know we have. We're lucky to have amazing partners. We work, we're a platform, so we connect the dots. So what we do is, for example, in Africa, we have Moving Words, who's partnered with us to provide, for example, mentorship and training to these women. And at the same time, it helps, it brings together anyone who, any professional has expertise to help these women through their platform. So we work with very trusted partnerships everywhere, locally.
Are you providing particular expertise or coaching to these women-led health enterprises? Is there anything, or is you just is it primarily funding as your focus?
No, we provide both because we think they need both. They need funding. Some of them are not ready for VC funding, for example. So it's no problem. We provide them. So we have different, like I said, different levels. So when we say here ignite, accelerate, scale, depending on some of them are in the ignite moment, others are ready for VC funding, so they're gonna get funding. For each of the 50 that we have shortlisted, we're gonna do this roadmap with them. We're gonna sit down and see what they need exactly, and we're gonna provide that through partners, through funding. It's really, really tailored support. Because yeah.
Thank you.
We only have 10 seconds left for any final questions. And if we can provide very quick answers, please. Right.
You can cede your 10 seconds to the next speaker. Thank you.
Right. Which are up already.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much, Paula, for your presentation.
Thank you.
Now, please join me in welcoming Her Store Asia with the project Her Store Asia as well from the Philippines, Carmen Lopez. Carmen, are you with us?
Hi, good evening. From the Philippines, and good morning to you all. My name is Carmen, Chief Empowerment Officer of Her Store Asia. We are Her Store Asia, and our mission is to support women enterprises in the Philippines and across Southeast Asia by creating safe and empowering spaces and markets. Our Her Story is actually anchored on the stories of our partners like Abby, a sole proprietor. So our partners like Abby, despite their competitive products, they still face challenges in terms of marketing and selling them, access to information, and to support services and digital literacy. We want to connect Abby and other women enterprises who comprise 55.8% of about 1 million MSMEs in the Philippines. We believe that women's economic empowerment is smart economics. We know that if and only if women sold their products, women tend to invest it back in their families' health, education, and other needs. Through Her Store Asia, we connect women enterprises across the value chain through an e-commerce platform, a mapping and database of services, and a learning management system. Through this for sisters support system, we are responding not just to SDG 5, gender equality, but to SDGs 8 and 9 as well. Our main target market are businesses who have signed the Women's Empowerment Principles of the United Nations, since part of their commitment is to establish supplier diversity programs and build relationships with women enterprises. To keep our startup afloat, we charge 10 to 15% commission on transactions. At present, we have now onboarded 85 partners from 5 countries across Southeast Asia who have 2,000 plus employees. We have reached 4,000 plus users, and we have facilitated sales close to $3,000 and have raised $11,000 in grant funds to build our MVP. This is our all-women team. We are all development workers passionate about women's economic empowerment, and we have experience both in the public sector and in the private sector here and abroad. We hope you can help us help more women. We are raising $200,000 in the next year to fast-track our mapping, inventory, and tech development. Together, let's make digital change work for women enterprises. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your pitch, Carmen. Now I open the floor for 3 minutes for the jury to ask any questions, if they may.
I thank you, Carmen. Tell me how, from a platform perspective, you said you charge a 10% commission, 10 to 15%
Yes.
on
Yes,
sales.
correct.
Is that proven to be an obstacle, or is that from a bar perspective in terms of the women participating? How do they view the 10 or 15% commission? Do you get pushback on that?
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for the question. It's actually something that they appreciate because other platforms here, both who are working online and offline, are actually charging 25% plus. So the 10% is a blessing, and really, it's really gender responsive in that sense.
Thank you, Carmen. Any other questions from the jury? I don't see anyone, so we can move forward. Thank you very much, Carmen. So please
Thank you.
give Carmen another round of applause while we welcome, last but not least, our final pitch, which will be presented by WeTech Batangas with the project We Code for Kids from the Philippines. Let's welcome Sarah Fabrito.
Bill Gates, 13 years old when he first created the software program. Mark Zuckerberg started coding at the age of 8. Tanmay Bakshi, world's youngest IBM developer, began his programming career at the age of 5, and by 8 years old, he designed his first app. What do they have in common? They are the world's best programmers, and they all started coding at a young age. 10 years from now, nobody knows what exactly are the top 10 paying jobs, but we are certain it has to do with technology, and programming is the core of it. However, in the Philippines, there is no existing coding curriculum at schools in the Philippines. Hence, we want to bridge the gap by offering coding classes to kids. At We Code for Kids, we make coding accessible to all Filipino students at a young age. Because according to research, this stage is crucial for kids since 80% of the brain development happens before 10 years old. It aims to tie, teach, inspire, engage. And we utilize globally used curriculum like Google First, Scratch, and Code.org. I'd like you to meet Paris, our 7-year-old girl who has no background in programming. We Code for Kids has sparked the interest of Paris in learning more about coding that her parents paid us more for her to continue learning. At We Code for Kids, we don't just let our children play a game, but teach them how to create a game. Who knows, Paris may be the next great innovator and female role model in tech. Despite its young age, our solution won first place at YCD pitching competition and chosen as a finalist for the Youth for South Entrepreneurship competition, and together we can do more. In the next 6 months, we aim to increase our reach from 50 to 100 students, and to do this, we need $3,000 to further improve the quality of our service. And if you're feeling generous, you can help us reach our next milestone, which is to train 1,000 kids or equivalent to 10,000 coding hours of coding by the end of 2025. So we are a team of young and passionate IT professionals and educators with a vision for it. And going back to the most successful people I've mentioned earlier, what do they have in common? They started coding at a young age, and they all changed the world. And similar to Mark Zuckerberg's question, in 15 years, we will be teaching programming just like reading and writing, and wondering why we didn't do it sooner. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Now we welcome any questions from the jury for 3 minutes. Thank you.
Thanks so much. It's great that you mentioned you have over 50% of the students are girls. I just wondered, how are you doing that? It's wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, so far we are inviting the kids from our network, from our friends, from our coworkers, from our colleagues. So basically, it's just like a word of mouth for now by invitation. And we started from there. And then after that, we partnered with a school, with a public school, who has actually no idea about coding. So it was really surprising that teachers and even the principals and even parents, coding is really something new to them. It's very ironic because we are in a digital age and people don't realize that the apps that we are using now are made up of codes, of blocks of code. So we are actually advocating that to be able to have these kids or to encourage these kids to believe that they can really excel in computer science even at a young age.
I love what you're doing, not only because I've been trying to convince my teenage kids to learn to code, and so I might have to send them to you. They haven't said yes yet. But I work with women entrepreneurs across the US, and many of them use virtual assistants in the Philippines. And I could see how in 10, 20 years, when you've done your job, they can also hire lots and lots of coders in the Philippines. So I love this. I'm curious, are you partnering with any of the existing organizations in this space or have relationships with them, like Girls Who Code, or I know there's a number of them in the US. Do you have any of those partnerships yet?
Okay, so actually, we are part of the Young Southeast Asian Leaders Initiative Network, which is a network of more than 120,000 young leaders across ASEAN, and we are part of the Women in Tech chapter. So if you will search that in Instagram, it's WeTech. So we are officially registered as Youth for Women in Technology Incorporated, and we are linked to a global community of 26 chapters around the world. So for the last 2 years, my organization WeTech Batangas, we're able to partner with more than 50 organizations here and abroad.
Thank you.
We have 45 seconds left for any additional questions from the jury, if any.
So how's the reaction of the schools to your program? This is obviously something outside of the schools. Do you see this eventually moving into schools, or do you think this will always be an independent venture? Extracurricular.
I think both in the schools, and as long as there is no coding curriculum yet, and I think it will take us a long time for the government to actually come up with that with a solution. So while we are waiting for the government, we are actually doing addressing it now. And at home, I think the parents are really, based on my experience, parents are really willing to pay to continue their child's programming lessons. So yeah, I think this is something really unique, especially in developing countries like the Philippines.
Thank you very much for your response. The time is up now, and I'm very pleased to say thank you to all the presenters, the 10 people, the 10 companies, the 10 projects that we just heard about. And I would like to give them a big round of applause from here, just for all their clarity in transmitting what their ideas are about. Now we're gonna let the jury deliberate for 10 minutes, which is a break for all of you. You can stand up, you can walk around, you can grab some snacks that are available outside the door, and let's reconvene in 10 minutes. Thank you again. Welcome back. We will now hear from the jury which winners will receive the special recognition in addition to the award received by all the winners, which include a boot camp, capacity building training, mentorship, be part of a network of change makers, and be published as a best practice in an official report to grow their initiatives. Now I have the pleasure to pass the mic on to Deborah Gibbons, CEO Mary Kay, who is going to give you a very interesting announcement. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Wasn't today great? All the pitches were so wonderful, and we just want to emphasize again, all of them are winners. It was very difficult in the jurors' room in terms of selecting a winner, and everyone received votes, and so we saw strengths in each of the pitches. But we had to choose some winners. So we had two runners-up. First is Gwiji for Women for Gig Workers, Elizabeth from Kenya. So she's one of our two runners-up. Yay! We have a strong Kenyan contingent here. And as part of winning, being one of the runners-up, you will additionally receive 5 hours of consultation and business development from the 1990 Investment Business Council. So 5 hours of coaching and then also receiving 5 hours as a second runner-up is the Health Innovation Exchange, the Women in Innovation from Switzerland. So Paula, congratulations on being a runner-up today. And then lastly, our winner, also from Kenya, Tiny Toto. So Emma from Kenya. Hey! Oh my goodness. So Tiny Totos will receive 10 hours of consultation from the 1990 Investment Council. So congratulations again to everyone and to our 3 winners today. Thank you for participating. It was so rewarding. And thank you all, our audience. So with that, thank you.
Thank you very much, Deborah, for the very exciting announcement. Now, I want to thank everyone for participating. Congratulations to all the winners. We will close with words from the Director, Telecommunication Development Bureau at ITU, Kazma Zavazava.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I want to begin by congratulating the winners of the Women's Entrepreneurship Accelerator Digital Innovation Challenge for a remarkable week of ideas, action, and even further intent. I would also like to sincerely thank the jury, experts, and mentors involved. All these people took the time to share their knowledge to enable digital innovation ecosystems for women entrepreneurs worldwide to come into being. Alongside that, I want to express a big thank you to our partners, the UN agencies at the Women's Entrepreneurship Accelerator, for an exceptional display of collaboration and partnership in co-organizing this challenge. We have big plans. Our joint targets are large but exciting, meaningful, and potentially transformative on a global scale. This is an astonishing commitment to empower 5 million women entrepreneurs by 2030. This goal is aligned with the 2023 Commission on the Status of Women, priority theme of innovation and technological change, and education in the digital age for the achieving gender equality and the empowerment of all women and girls. For the moment, we have ended our journey for this week, but our joint story continues. My team is ready to help the winners accelerate their digital transformation journeys and share lessons. The winners will now join a program where they will receive capacity building training to further their goals. They will receive the support of mentors and a network of change makers for the acceleration of the growth and impact of their initiatives. At the end of the program, some of the winning initiatives will be selected to participate in this year's prestigious Global Innovation Forum. It is a tough call because this year's challenge has so much interest. Hundreds of outstanding digital innovations were submitted by female participants worldwide, working to better their communities. It was very challenging to choose only 10 winners. Congratulations to all the other applicants. Your solutions are indisputably changing the world for the better. But I also wanted to reinforce that future with some observation. First, I hope that everyone has experienced what an amazing ecosystem of digital innovators is actually like. Digital innovation is center stage. Second, inclusive and equitable innovations will help us navigate a new digital world that is increasingly volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. However, digital innovation ecosystems still suffer from a substantial gender divide that affects everyone. So, more gender-inclusive digital innovation ecosystems are needed. They can elevate economies and societies worldwide and help protect against the socioeconomic crises we have seen. Challenges like this bring female innovators and female-led innovations together. In doing so, new ecosystems are emerging to help us achieve that equitable and empowered digital future. Third, my message to our innovators is very simple. You are now the leaders in this future. You are setting the roadmap. We hope you grow, develop partnerships, inspire your communities, and return with the tales of your compelling digital futures. In conclusion, I offer my thanks again to all our participants. We saw great success this week because of our distinguished guests, event partners, speakers, moderators, mentors, and a new community that is taking shape. Many made selfless effort to help others. I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Salazava, for his message. And please enjoy lunch outside. There's going to be space for pictures as well. And a final thank you for your attendance. Thank you very much, and congratulations to all the winners.
And a big thank you to Cesar for being our moderator, our impressive moderator. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
You're incredible.
My pleasure.